They had to force our forefathers to eat that. But you indulge so freely. Not only do you indulge, but you get all up in arms and defend it. Don't you know our forefathers would die before they eat a pig? They did die. They literally chose death. They chose death before they would even tell a lie to our peoples and just say they ate it, because they didn't want to trick our people into eating it either. Straight soldiers. No compromise whatsoever. None. No compromise. Shout out forefather Elizar. Like, nah, you just gonna have to kill me. No compromise.
Do you know what we had to go through before we eat that pork? We are not supposed to. Do you know? Love Leviticus told you he didn't make that for. He didn't make that for food. Do you know? Do you? Don't you know we can't eat that? Don't you know we do you know? That's abominable to you. Don't you know we do you?
Yeah. An abomination. That's called an abomination. Some say abomination worse than sin, but all I know is the Father hated the pepperoni on a slice of pizza. Look how popular they done made it. A hamburger is a hamburger. Put some cheese on it. Why you need bacon? Monos in the glycerides. Clever way to say this is swine. Gelatin, collagen, coming from a pig inside. Pig fat in your cosmetics, your lotions in your hair care. You got no idea you in the bathroom doing rituals, rub it in there. Cause these are the same things they do in the basements of they Catholic churches. With your kid you ain't seen since you had to file for that missing person. Rub a dub in the tub of blood. Drink it like Kool-Aid, shoulder shrugs. Keep the most high and utter disgust. Sneaking in the bottle, now it's done by us. Man, these heathens is gross, and this Bible is the opposite of them. Father shook us, we both, and you still can't figure out why we love them. Nothing new under the sun. Tell them we back after falling from them. Dietary law truth. We ain't eating that, we outta here, we running.
You know what we had to go through before we eat that pork? We are not supposed to. Do you know? Leviticus told you he didn't make that for. He didn't make that for food. Do you know? Do you? Don't you know we can't eat that? Don't you know we do you? Do you? That's abominable to you. Don't you know we do you?
But you gorge with the quickness, then you wonder why you all torn with your sickness. When they tried to feed my forefather that piglet, he ain't going for it, he's shaking, he's spitting. He ain't going for it, he turning, he's spitting. He ain't going for it, he's squirming, he's spitting. But you indulge with the quickness, and got the nerve to defend it. Oh, do you know what our forefathers had to go through with that meat? They was giving their life, but they got caught chewing that meat. Don't you know that to pick a child down on everything and anything? Then you put it on your dinner table for your family, you are what you eat. High blood pressure, that cancer, them strokes, diabetes. That cholesterol get up in you, clogging up your arteries. Now you up in there half dead, looking like a fiend in the pharmacy. And you probably full of worms, might as well eat a dead dog off the street. Oh, this is why we hardly ever make it to our 50s. You gon' learn that it the Most High said, listen. He trying to guide us through a healthy life, what we got to do and what not to do. Come out the herb and keep a ride to you. That shrimp, crab, and that lobster too. And your fish better have fins and scales. But what we love the most, catfish. They fed it to us in slavery and then made it cheap. It's no accident. And imagine this is what's keeping us separated from the Father. Tell you about these commandments in your hiding body.
Do you know what we had to go through before we eat that pork? We are not supposed to. Do you know? Leviticus told you he didn't make that for. He didn't make that for food. Do you know? Do you? Don't you know we can't eat that? Don't you know we do you? Do you? That's abominable to you. Don't you know we do you?
The whole world has forsaken the Most High's law. Hundreds of religions have this book in their primary source of doctrine, but nobody's following what's written in it. Why? Because it wasn't given to them. Nor is this a religious book. This is the book of a heritage of a people that are lost, deaf, dumb, and blind, and have no idea who they are or that the ordinance of this book has been given to them. Everybody else will be looking for shortcuts and scapegoats. Anybody who correctly follows this book would have to get it from they who this book was given unto. Why? Because they are the ones who would be diligently following what is written in this book. It was given to them, a book of specific instructions for a particular chosen people, all the way down to the diet. Specific instructions on what should be eaten and not. Right now, we just happen to be dealing with that particular topic. Read the Bible, Leviticus 11:7-8. And the swine though it divideth the hoof, and be cloven footed, yet he cheweth not the cud. It ain't got no interest in no cud, which is plants and grass and other vegetation. A pig can eat anything. It has razor sharp teeth and jaws that crush up to 600 psi in pressure. Therefore, it can eat through anything. So back before it was a trash man coming down the street once a week, you just took your garbage can and dumped it over in the pig pen. It is the trash consumer of the earth. That's its job. That's what it do. That's what the Most High created it for. Same thing with the bathroom. Before there was a sewer system, you just did your business in a bucket, dumped it over in the pig pen. That's its job. Why do you think greedy people are called pigs? They eat everything. So you don't think it fulfilled this purpose before it winded up on your dinner table? It did its job. A pig do its business and then get done and turn right around and eat the business it just did. And you got this on your dinner table, feeding it to your family. It eats everything. Their cages and gates must be steel or iron. They will eat their way out of any other material. The Most High didn't create it for food. It is the trash consumer of the earth. Therefore, it is what? He is unclean to you. It is unclean. It doesn't have pores, so it doesn't sweat. It is full of bacteria. It holds diseases and is unaffected. It has holes between the hoods of its feet. They just leak nasty abstract and pus from its body, which is the same clear grease that comes out of your bacon. That same clear juice that comes out of your sausage and pork chops when you squeeze it. You know that clear liquid. I'm telling y'all, man, this is a real repugnant animal y'all eat. It's the truth that you are what you eat. Whatever you eat becomes you, becomes a part of you. A pig is what it eats. And then you turn around and eat the pig, so you just ate whatever the pig ate. Now do you see where a higher is coming from? Verse 8, that their flesh shall ye not eat, and their carcass shall ye not touch. They are unclean to you. Its carcass is its dead body. So not only does the Father not want you to eat it, but he don't even want you to touch it after it's dead. Now let's get a quick precept of this. Still in the law, let's go. Deuteronomy 14:8. And the swine, because it divideth the hoof, yet cheweth not the cud. It is unclean unto you. Ye shall not eat of their flesh, nor touch their dead carcass. Kabang, there it is again there. This book and every word in it is the truth, from the law to the prophets to the gospel. So the wicked rulers of this earth who has dominion over this world for a time is set up against it. So they're going to tell you that it's okay to eat this abominable meat. And they're going to teach all their bishops and scholars and pastors to teach that it's okay to eat this meat. They are liars. Our forefathers in obedience to the Most High took this dietary law very, very serious. You couldn't get them to eat no pig. Nah, they wasn't doing it. No, they would choose death first. 2 Maccabees chapter 6:1. Not long after this, the king sent an old man of Athens to compel the Jews to depart from the laws of their fathers and not to live after the laws of the Most High. So you see this? They have always tried to get us away from the Most High's law, statutes, and commandments. It's the same thing today. Ain't no difference. They have always worked to get us to sin and anger our Father in heaven. This makes the Father take his power away from us. Then they can conquer us and become the authority and rule over us. Therefore, the world is by default delivered into their hands. And once they get that dominion, what must they do to keep it? Right, they gotta keep us in it. That's why everywhere you go and everywhere you look, you find yourself being compelled to do something that's against the ordinance of the Most High's commandment. They purposely got us breaking every law that is written therein. What's one of the main things they was doing to get us to anger the Most High? Jump down to verse 9. Verse 9, and whoso would not conform themselves to the manners of the Gentiles should be put to death. So they was threatening us with death if we refused to eat this abominable meat that they was forcing on us. Let's get our forefather Eleazar, the Levite. Jump down to 18. 18, Eleazar, one of the principal scribes, an aged man of a well-favored countenance, was constrained to open his mouth. To constrain is to force, so they forcing his mouth open to do what? And to eat swine's flesh. Kabang, so they prying his mouth open trying to shove pork in his mouth. And what he do? 19, but he choosing rather to die gloriously. See that? He chose death. He would rather die than to do what? Than to live stained with such an abomination. He like, nah, y'all ain't defiling me. He fighting to the death. Than to live stained with such an abomination. Spit it forth. He spitting and fighting and came to his own accord to the torment. He chose torment. He wasn't compromised. They couldn't get him to cross the Most High. So what they do? Jump down to 21. 21, but they that had charge of the wicked feast for the old acquaintance they had with the man, taking him aside. So they took him to the side real quick and private. And what they tried to push on him, and besought him to bring flesh of his own provision. So they told him to bring out some of his own meat. What kind of meat? Such as was lawful for him to use. Clean meat. That's what kind of meat they wanted him to get. And what did they want him to do with this clean meat? And make as if he did eat of the flesh that was taken from the sacrifice commanded by the king. So they wanted him to take his clean meat in front like he was eating their abominable meat and eat it in front of the rest of the brood. And what did Eleazar do? Jump down to 23. 23, but he began to consider discreetly, and as became his old age, and the excellency of his ancient years, and the honor of his gray head, whereon was come. So he was a devout law follower all his life, into his old age. This is the son of our forefather Aaron, Moses' brother, and his most honest education from a child. What education? Or rather the holy law made and given by the Most High. The Most High's law, that's what education. Therefore he answered accordingly. And what was his decision? And willed them straightways to send him to the grave. Kabang, he chose death, he gave his life. He died before his people, before he would eat that garbage. How honorable is that? 2 Maccabees chapter 7 tells us about a mother and her 7 sons who died before they would eat this meat, after being tortured and tormented and finally killed. That's how serious this is. We did not compromise with this. But here we are today, not only indulging, but defending this abominable meat, despising the orders of the Most High who created this body and therefore should know what's good for it and not. Even in the churches. Let's get some of the scriptures that they say make it okay to eat a pig. Matthew 15 and 10 through 11. And he called the multitude and said unto them, hear and understand. 11. Not that which goeth into the mouth defileth the man, but that which cometh out of the mouth, this defileth the man. They'll bring you here and say that it's okay to eat a pig. Yeah, well, what just came out your mouth just defiled you, brother. Because you teaching against the Most High's commandment. Nowhere has he redrew this law and made an unclean animal a clean animal. Now let's kabang them right fast. What was Yasha really talking about in this verse? We gotta read this book in its proper context. Why did he really say this? Back it up to verse 2. Matthew 15 and verse 2. Why do thy disciples transgress the tradition of the elders? For they wash not their hands before they eat bread. Kabang. This is just talking about the disciples not washing their hands before they ate some bread. This ain't got nothing to do with eating no unclean pig meat. Let's get another one. What's another one they pull to say it's okay to eat this abominable meat? 1 Timothy 4 and 4. For every creature of God is good. So everything the Most High created is good. It has a purpose and nothing to be refused. And nothing should be turned down if what? If it be received with thanksgiving. If it is received with thanksgiving. Glory and honor to the Most High. But how you gonna receive something with thanks, glory, and honor to the Most High that he done already told you not to eat in the first place? What kind of sense did that make? Like, thank you, Father, for this disgusting abominable meat, this trash consumer of the earth that you told me not to eat. Nah, it don't work like that. They try to use Christ to do all of these things that the Most High said not to do. Okay, so let's talk Christ then. Yeshua, the Messiah, the pure and righteous, the unblemished lamb, the hand layer upon her, the healer. Now can you see him casting the demon into anyone or anything, corrupting anyone or anything, defiling anyone or anything? What happened when he met the 2 possessed men with devils? What did he cast their demons into? Matthew 28:32. And he said unto them, go. And when they were come out, they went into a herd of swine. Kabang, he allowed them to go into a flock of pigs. And what did those demons do to the pigs? And behold, the whole herd ran violently down a steep place into the sea, down an embankment into the ocean, and perished in the waters. And they drowned and died. Now can you see the Messiah doing this to any other creature on this earth? Everything else he was restoring and healing, but he allowed a flock of pigs to be destroyed. Proof that even in the New Testament, this is still a filthy, defiled, abominable animal. Now here we are today cooking this garbage and putting it on our dinner table, feeding it to our family. I'm telling you, they that teach you that it's okay to eat defiled meats is lying to y'all. The Most High word don't come back void. What you saying? The Most High made a mistake? Yeah, I know I said in the past you couldn't eat this meat, but now it's okay. Nah, the Most High don't make no mistake. Malachi 3 and 6. I am Ahia. I change not. He is Ahia, the all-seeing, all-knowing, unchanging Most High. He say what he mean what he say. He don't change his mind and he don't contradict himself. Once he sets something in place, that's that. He is the same yesterday, today, and forever. So if he said don't eat a pig then, he don't want you eating no pig now. Refrain from all abominable meats. I am your brother Bron7e, BWO, Blue World Order. We are taking this thing off. Active Hebrew, gathering Christ Church in these last days. The truth about abominable meats. Shout out to the one.